Well, hi there. My name is Kenneth Jesse, and this is Election Brief from your election headquarters here in Accra. We're on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media handles, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. Elections headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, CIMA, and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants and the German Ozone Medical Center, Alternative Therapy, Dental, Wellness and Beauty. Election headquarters for an informed electorate. Please stay tuned in. And we begin straight from the camp of the NPP because Dr. Bawumia has today, the 1st of July, formally informed the national officers of the party of his nomination of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as his running mate in the upcoming 2024 general elections. Now, the meeting, which occurred at the NPP's headquarters in Asylum Down, follows an earlier presentation of Dr. Opoku Prempeh's nomination to the majority caucus in Parliament. Now, the nomination, however, awaits the decision of the National Council, which is the final approving organ of the new patriotic party. Well, let's bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the new patriotic party, Haruna Mohammed. Welcome to the show. What do you make of this announcement?
Thank you very much. I would like to say good afternoon to your cherished viewers out there. Indeed, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana and the incoming President for the Republic of Ghana on the 7th of January, 2025, indeed visited the national headquarters of the new patriotic party to present the name to us officially, which form part of the processes of nominating and affirming the running mate to the new patriotic party's flag bearer. So we've received it, and the General Secretary, in consultation with the National Chairman, has issued an invitation for a National Council meeting, which is the appropriate body to determine the otherwise of this name that has been submitted to us.
We understand that there was some misunderstanding at the top level over the nomination of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. Can you confirm or otherwise?
Well, sitting here at the party headquarters, I cannot confirm whether there was any misunderstanding. I believe that in every selection period, there would definitely be persons who have diverse interests in all these particular processes. It takes the leader to affirm his decision in terms of selection. And I believe that His Excellency, the Vice President, duly went through the processes and made the necessary consultations and to meet with the national leadership of the party today to confirm the nomination of Matthew Opoku Prempeh.
We also understand that he will be presented to the neck of the party on Thursday. Is that the case?
Yes, invitation has been extended by the General Secretary under the direction of the National Chairman for the neck to be constituted and also the National Council to meet to deliberate and take decision on the nomination of His Excellency, the Vice President, and the standard bearer of the new patriotic party.
Haruna, kindly hold on for me. I'll come back to you. But in the meantime, the General Officer of the Central Command, Brigadier General Mike Opoku, is optimistic the Ghana Armed Forces is ready to support the other security agencies to safeguard the country's peace before, during, and after the general elections in December. Speaking at the command's unit steeple cheese competition and commissioning of residential facilities for soldiers in Sunyani, Brigadier General Opoku assured of continuous training to defend the territorial integrity of Ghana. Here's Precious Semavos' report.
The 2nd Central Command Inter-Unit Steeplechase Competition at the 3rd Garrison in Sunyani is an embodiment of the spirit of competitiveness, teamwork, physical endurance and excellence to the cause of the Ghana Armed Forces. over 100 soldiers drawn from the headquarters command, 3BN, 4BN, and the 154 Armored Regiments were involved in a 12-kilometer race and obstacle crossings, including rope climbing, water ditch, and belly crawling, among other grueling military drills. With the moral support of other watching soldiers and civilians, Lance Corporal John Kudanu of the Armored Regiment came first at 52 minutes 47 seconds, with the 3BN winning the overall best position, and were awarded with other deserving units and individual soldiers. Brigadier General Mike Opoku is the General Officer commanding the Central Command.
Physical training in the military plays a major role in ensuring that we soldiers are physically and mentally balanced to achieve our mission in peacetime and in wartime. Most of our physical training models that we have in the Ghana Armed Forces help us in our mental and brain training. It helps to improve our health and our human performance as soldiers.
He also commissioned a residential facility comprising 80 two-bedroom units for the soldiers and relished its importance in the discharge of their duties.
It helps us to be able to get soldiers in readiness. So when we fall them in, within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they are there. If they are staying at some 5 kilometers, 20 kilometers, so we need to make the calls, and our combat readiness is being always affected when we don't have people living in the barracks. So I'm so happy that today the government has handed over this accommodation to my higher headquarters, and I've been privileged to also hand over to my troops today.
He said the armed forces are ready to support other stakeholders to ensure peace during the general elections in December.
We are ready, and we are continuing with the training. We are envisaging having a joint training with the other security agencies very soon in how to support them in ensuring that there is peaceful election on 7th December, before, after, and then even during the election itself. We have nowhere called another Ghana again. So I don't see any Ghanaian who thinks that he can turn Ghana upside down. Nobody. We are ready to ensure that we defend the territorial integrity of Ghana, whether it is the skies, the sea, or the land. That one, be rest assured, we are ready to do that. And let's encourage our brothers that we should always remember that there is no other place called Ghana apart from the country that we spell Ghana, Ghana.
Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyai.
Let's come back to the Greater Accra region, because the Ghana Bar Association has called for a cessation to the politicization of the judiciary, decrying the growing trend of viewing judicial matters through a political lens. The GBA also expressed concern about the escalating tension ahead of the general elections, warning that it should not be taken lightly. President of the GBA, Yawe Champon Boafo, made these remarks at the remembrance service for the matters of the rule of law held at the Calvary Baptist Church here in Accra.
Let us not take anything for granted. Let us not get ahead of ourselves. There's a lot to be done to have a truly functioning democracy, working at full throttle that guarantees and oils our individual and collective aspirations and development. Let us have the awareness and consciousness of our past travails, struggles, and failures to get to where we are now, and rededicate ourselves to doing our best not to go back to those dark days. As citizens, it is our collective duty to ensure that whatever we do, whether in word or in deed, should not create fertile conditions for military adventurers to take advantage to truncate our democratic journey. All of us have a role to play to make sure that violence, lawlessness, and vigilantism have no place in our democracy and political engagements, especially in the registration of voters and during and after general elections. Specifically, I speak to leaders and members of all the leading political parties, the Electoral Commission, the security agencies, and the government. To the youth, who are invariably exploited and manipulated by some political actors, I urge you to be purposeful in life. Channel your energies and exuberance into meaningful ventures. Do not fall for and be misled by unscrupulous politicians to engage in acts that destabilize our nation only for crumbs. I dare say you are worth more than some few Ghana cedis and a pack of cooked rice. The 2024 general elections are little The 2024 general elections are a little over 5 months away. It is not in doubt that the stakes are even higher. We cannot afford to witness and deal with similar acts of threats, intimidation, violence, vigilantism, and lawlessness, which can affect the peace and stability of Ghana and our general quest to consolidate our democratic rule and accelerate economic development. Yet still, the marking of a day like this should serve as a constant reminder of the need of the state, government, and management of the judicial service to enhance the security and safety of judges at all levels of the judiciary.
You heard there the president of the Ghana Bar Association. Let's get on to Zoom now and speak to the deputy national organizer of the National Democratic Congress, Elikem Kotoko, and also bring back NPP's Deputy General Secretary, Haruna Mohammed. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Let me start with you, Elikem. What do you make of the president of the Ghana Bar Association's comment?
Thank you, my brother, and good afternoon to your cherished viewers. I want to commend the president first and foremost for being firm to make those comments, but I think that it leaves much to be desired, knowing very well that right from the very inception of this particular regime, there has been a lot of atrocities committed by assigns within government who have been let loose. And I can recount for you instances where hoodlums from the party went to misconduct themselves at Ayawaso, West Wuogon. Some went to the High Court in Kumasi to do same. Others assaulted a police officer on duty in the Flagstaff in the seat of government. And you have even heard the likes of Kandapa make some comments that suggest that even verdicts that are coming out from the judiciary is lopsided and seemingly in line with a particular political party, which doesn't spell well for us. You will definitely not forget Kennedy Japon's very reckless and unguarded commentary in the past. You will not forget the Martin Amidou's position on criticizing even the judiciary, etc. I expect the GBA president, Mr. Boafo, to be bold enough, man enough, and be able to at least give a word of advice to the judges also. What he enumerated, that there are no NPP judges or no non-NDC judges or nobody through interview is asked where they belong. We all know all that. But when there's a certain impression created by the judiciary, it gives reason for everybody to believe so. This is why Ghanaians have actually raised concerns about that. It must be stated as a matter of fact that never anywhere did the NDC, for instance, want to raise any tensions within this country. But if you, the GBA, start aloof and listen to the likes of Brian Champon say that they are never going to hand over power to the NDC, even if the NDC wins, such reckless and irresponsible comment that should be condemned even by the president to demonstrate that he is truly a believer in democracy. They didn't do anything. Then the president himself also, I am pardon my language, but in a very infantile manner, also went to stress on the same commentary, stating that he will hand over power only to Bawumia. Then you recall the others like Lokomi, etc. And so I think that the GBA president is doing something right, but he's been a bit of permit me to say that he demonstrated a bit of cowardice by not being bold enough to even say that, look, we would want as an association to as well send a word of advice or admonition to the judiciary in general that they should also be firm on their verdict, etc. So that it doesn't look like what Kandapa said, that verdicts are looking in one way and it doesn't augur well for our democracy.
Elikem, I'll come back to you, but let me go straight to Haruna. Are you still with us, Haruna? Hello, Haruna?
Hello, I'm here.
Right. Elikem has made his point that, they should be fair in their judgment, or the Ghana Bar Association should also, caution the judiciary and all that. What do you make of that? Let's start with the judiciary.
Thank you very much. I listened to him and I was very surprised and asked myself the kind of leaders that we are producing in this country. We all know that law works for every democratic nation, and we as NPP founded on democratic credentials are very well aware that the judicial system in this country is independent and works for every citizen of this country. You would hear the NDC in most of the cases attack the judiciary and say all manner of things, and when they win in court on a particular matter. For example, if you take Jomoro, they were very grateful to them. These are the same judges. I continue to say that justice is not a commodity in the market where you will describe or prescribe the category of justice or the kind of justice that you need where it will be produced to you. Justice are fought for within the court system when you are able to adduce and make sure that your case is properly presented. For me, I would say that this forms part of the democratic process. He did say that in the Fourth Republic, it is us as a party or government that we have created so much tension in this country. He referred to Ayawaso, but he failed to tell the Ghanaian public that people, hoodlums from Tamale, were sent to the Ayawaso to create confusions and what have you, and the state security met them with the measure of which to control them to bring peace and tranquility to the Ayawaso by-election. We were in this country, an interior minister told the whole country, the whole citizen, that violence begot violence. This was what an interior minister under the NDC regime has told us. This is the only government, the only political party that we have made sure that a bill has been drafted and sent to Parliament in terms of vigilantism and disbanded, for which this does not work for us. Okay. We are not a product of violence. We have never staged a coup in this country. We have never demonstrated that we are so much violent and we become the kings of violence. The NDC, through their flag bearer, indicated that they are, when it comes to violence, they are the paramount chiefs of violence. And my brother has failed to also remind us that all the violent activities that is happening, of which the Ghana Bar Association's president is so much worried about, the current happenings now, their own deputy general secretary sat on a national television and told the NDC supporters that if they are to go to polls, they should go with cutlasses and machetes. They should go with guns. Today, what has happened in Kaswa? Today, what happened in other registration centers? It is some of these reckless comments that was going to affect the democratic credentials of our nation. And the NDC should be the last party to be talking about that. I thought that we are going to interrogate the discussion that has been put forward by the president of the Ghana Bar Association. It is something all of us are worried. When there is chaos in this nation, when bullets are flying, when cutlasses are thrown, it doesn't know NPP, it doesn't know NDC. And that is what we must all be worried about. And that is why we have to work towards to make sure that we build a peaceful nation. It is their flag bearer who went to talk about they should build their, make sure that their lawyers become judges. They will have NDC judges here and there. We don't have NPP judges. We have Ghanaian citizens who are sitting on the bench to make sure that they dispense justice and ensure that every Ghanaian citizen is able to get justice from the court system.
Elikem, do you feel the judicial service is politicized?
The last time I checked, their own minister, Kandapa, made us believe so. And did you say the gentleman is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP?
Yes, he is.
I think he needs to check the records, what Kandapa said with reference to the judiciary, which necessitated reason for His Excellency John Mahama to as well also refer to instances where the judiciary, which is supposed to be neutral, is seen to be political. And so if there's that impression being created, you would ask yourself, why would the likes of Martin Amidu, why would the likes of Brianna Champon, Kennedy Japan, etc., do the things they did? My brother here just lied on your channel, saying that at Ayawaso, state security was sent there. You recall the process which made us realize the likes of Double, who was a phone dealer at Tiptoe Lane, had 2 weeks training, and was given arms to go there and do what he actually did. You can recall a lot of incidents, the Techiman South, even the Ablekuma Central here. All these instances that we can make mention of. What exactly has been the posturing, the demeanor, and the conduct of even the president in trying to bring the country along to let everyone know that he decries or he's frowning on that? No. But just what you listen to the Deputy General Secretary want to do is to find reason to look for an equalizing opportunity, whether it was 8 years ago, 20 years ago, to say that you have also done this. Therefore, is he saying he's justifying the conduct of his people and etc.? Especially, I want to reiterate, does he recall exactly what Kandapa said about the judiciary?
That's a question to you, Haruna. Can you hear him?
I don't think he needs an answer to me because
okay.
the Minister for National Security hasn't said anything. If he has said, your station is a station of record.
Right.
He has not said anything that affects the judiciary. He has not insulted any judiciary person. It is only their flag bearer, after losing election, had insulted the entire judiciary, even when he went to the Supreme Court without evidence. So for us, if he has that evidence, your station is the station of record. He should produce that.
Right. The Ghana Bar Association also raised concerns about political commentary on issues that are in court. They say that it creates some sort of hostile, atmosphere. For example, the ambulance trial case involving Cassiel Atoforsen, who is the minority leader, and Richard Jakpa. What do you make of that? Do you agree with the Ghana Bar Association's assertion that you should refrain from political commentary on cases that have political connotations that are in court? Let me come to you, Haruna.
I think this is a justified call. The call is correct. And the judge on that matter also called on political actors who have been reporting on the proceedings in court to be very mindful of the kind of commentary that goes out there. You remember even in the election petition, the 2020 election petition, the judges had to also caution people or lawyers who respond and speak to the media with respect to the happenings within the court system. As we speak today, one person was mentioned, even in court, and that is their own communications officer, who has misrepresented facts of what happens in court. So I think that we have to be very careful. I am not a lawyer, and I have always restrained myself in speaking on matters that are before court, because once a matter is before court, court must be given the opportunity to do off with this particular matter. Thereafter, then we can discuss the merit of the judgment. And that I believe that this call is in the right direction.
Right. Elikem, the Ghana Bar Association has raised concerns about commentary, especially political commentary, on issues that have political connotations that are before the court. Is your party going to abide by that and refrain from making political commentary on issues in court?
Thank you so much. Like you said, I mean, it is a good call, and the NDC definitely will abide by that. But you see, it doesn't need even the call from the Bar Association's president for all parties to decide to abide by that. It is a civic duty and responsibility for all, as enshrined in the Constitution, for which we must even protect this country. So the NDC will always do that. But allow me, you being a media person, to finally reiterate and remind my brother that he being a General Secretary Deputy and not being aware of the commentary that Kandapa, the Minister of State at the time of National Interior, said about verdicts in court or judges and the cases, how it's been lopsided in one favor. That means that this is the Deputy General Secretary, I'm sorry, who is not on top of issues and has not been in the media space to know what the news is around him. And that is so sorry, because I am so sure that you as a media person can confirm that as well now on what Kandapa said at the time. The reason it's very important is because if you have your own Minister of State saying so, it means that there's something wrong somewhere and he's trying to point us. But that aside, the truth remains that the NDC have been, you see, when you want to rope in His Excellency John Mahama over some of these things, one laughs, but I mean, there's a need to set the record straight. It is not a fallacy, it is not a falsehood that the NDC has a revolutionary background. Our history is part of the Ghanaian history. If my brother here ever heard people talk about the French Revolution, the Cuban Revolution, so must we be proud of the Ghanaian Revolution. That does not mean that we intend to visit that kind of system onto any Ghanaian. We, the very people in NDC, embraced democracy. It was not His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings who actually changed from military rule to embrace democracy.
Okay.
So we do not need to take lessons from them at all. And this you should be very aware of.
Right. I want to thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time this afternoon on the show. Well, let's now take you to the Keta Central Market in the Keta constituency for today's Voters' Voice.
Mala NDCG, luita mala NDCG ro. Enye ba ata NDC la jiajia. Onwonyo na mi. Na mi odo mi potani. Mi aba modonyo ho oje ka ara. Fifia kukuru va jiajia. Omo kataglan. Mi asro hono itoja ami panya va sudo. no bo odon la pentigwe karami ba 1 million 2 million ne mi ba shima mi te mi adriu afo konyi mi la ne mi ba mi apla bla nya 200 20 gala tama gataga 5 cd nya fukpan ta endis nega trok bobo jina mi ne mi ahu
Bawumia mi lady le keta duame Bawumia mi lady Bawumia mi lady Bawumia mi lady Bawumia free education Bawumia mi lady Bawumia Mahama vacha awunyonto NPP va afukomola free education bonus. Yes. I got pity haga 1,000 2,000 free ma. Even suku I'm do get suku. Ngije ngudure suku. Mahama.
Ayazu Mahama will go. Yes. We want Mahama. Mahama will come. Since that we have started since that Mahama Nana came to this season we are not selling. This is the water that I take. This market there, I said that I thought I market there I would sell. I didn't sell anything at all. So this time I want Mahama to come. Ayazu.
Bawumia kochimiele. Amo suku him free. Ago benya brata amo ira suku free. Free education. Lekwani hande fiomo fukpamo. It is possible. It is possible. It's not possible. It's not free education. Me dogo suko mi matemia isukoa. Free education mo dogo JHS I matema isukoa. Mahama Malaysia jemi banaga 7 city banana Malaysia jere 20 city 25 city 50%. How? Okay ma Mahama kwayi. Mahama is Mahama. It is possible.
Nyatepe nyakwala da ina NDC nke jogwafi alaba ekemiko miapa nsana NPP to over ya mi pongaro alaba nanojo mi expecto because nsi mi kona nana doba onami amate we na mi ota mi pafugara ata miapa amonyao la kata miapa amonyao nyaba shinyao gazanyao kata nyemi ke toguna mita mite pongo wa iyo tamila fupepama ata nyama ka tie mama gada konya ko ala ba anwo otoguna mi ala ka gbaja fresh ba dori okowe ha anyope kaka angare o we ba school view problem wala odoma o bon runyao peton wala mojo o ba banyao la peton wala mojo ta awe ba nyatabato na mi agada ko akomika ti daga na NPP la piamo nyakwena NDC na hana gaba o miakpo
enye agloma nye chairman la nya ma dashiraju afiam ba susuite nye ma dashiraju nye ba fofoto to ganda vale akoya mi dalama e chan fota original no da kwenti siela na first kaka fifia mi kpo ba NPP va power amo mi da konye amako ye free education hali the view school them free o tu ton ha mi kpo ba difference ha va ma la o chichiga na la ka jiji ma mi jiji mreji ta bosusu ma va vam ta mi kpo ba position NPP over.
That's it for Election Brief today. My name is Kenneth Jesse. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.